All right, hello guys to another recap of today. I was pretty busy, so it's gonna be up a little later than usual. But yeah, let's go over the day. So today we had CPI, right? We all expected a decent move to break out of the range, and we didn't really get that. Like I said yesterday in the recap, this was the forecast. It played out exactly as expected. That's also probably the reason why we didn't have a huge move, because it was priced in and people didn't really expect breakout to the upside or to the downside. But yeah, other than that, I had a pretty mixed bias, to be honest, because if you look at the daily chart right here, we did have these equal highs, right? Relative equal highs right here. And at the same time, we did have all the equal lows right here. So it was pretty hard to find a decent draw today. So I went into the day pretty neutral, I would say. And then, yeah, let's go into CPI coming out on the 50-minute maybe. And we'll go from there. So CPI dropped. You all saw the move at 8:30, so we got to move up, and then we started to trade lower. We pretty much rejected this hourly gap in premium of the range right here on the CPI move. This was paired with this old NWalk CE, which pretty much was the high of the CPI move right here. Wait, you can't see the NWalk, you see it right here. So yeah, NWalk CE swept out this liquidity pool. Same thing on ES right here. Do we have any SMT? Not really. I mean, this internal high, but it shouldn't really matter. So yeah, we got this move down here while we were on the live stream, and then Boy said, look out, we got an SMT right here, which I didn't really like because we still left the liquidity pool that you can see right here. So we left all of this. Same thing right here in AQ. We didn't sweep the equal low, so we just made another equal low before CPI, and then CPI rejected off of this SMT, which then pretty much drove us higher before market open. And yeah, at market open, you can see how price used the structure we built before it. So these two gaps, and also like the range right here, 5-minute one, used ITE. Pretty sure you can use the 50-minute range too. But you can see how price reacted off of the short-term range. And that brings me to my first setup of the day, which I did miss because I was in chat. I was responding to questions. I didn't really look at the chart because I wanted to wait for 10 a.m. But this 5-minute right here was pretty good. So this 5-minute rejection block right here was the first good setup I saw. Probably the best setup of today, to be honest, because I was bullish for 10 a.m. I did want to see the highs first. Didn't really look at the lows. Like Paul said, we either go for the highs right here or we go for the lows. Whichever happens first, you trade to the other draw, right? So we didn't really clear any of them until later in the day, but I'm gonna come to that. So yeah, this was the first trade I really liked. You can use this range right here. We can see we tap OTE. We go for this NDOC CE right here. And then on the 1-minute, you can see it's pretty clear. So I'm gonna delete this range, right? But we do have this overlapping structure on the lower time frame, which is really, really good for rejection blocks. You don't want to see chop, you want to see some PD arrays actually hold. So this would have been my trade for today, where you just limit CE, right? Because the risk is pretty good. You have a stop at the low, which is like 17 points, and UTP at through the open, which gives you 1 to 5 already. And if you want to give it some more room or fixed RR or whatever, you could have gone for way more, right? But I probably would have TP'd it through the open, or at least at this high right here. and you can see how fast it played out. So the setup formed before 10 a.m. In this case, 10 a.m. just expanded, and yeah. Why do I have a gap right here? I'm gonna reload. So this should be pretty clear. This setup, I've seen it a lot. A lot of people took this, which was pretty clear setup in my opinion. Then we get to 10 a.m. itself, right? For 10 a.m., I wanted to see an open low, which in this case we didn't get, so no 10 a.m. longs for me because we straight up pumped at 10 a.m. And you can see how we made an SMT right here. This SMT paired with the open high at 10 a.m. was also the reason why longs failed during 10 a.m. I got some questions about this rejection block right here, why this one failed. First of all, we opened higher, and second of all, we had external SMT. So this is two things that you don't want to see if you want to go for upside at 10 a.m. Also, if you look at the 10 a.m. candle, this is pretty much all the manipulation we have below it. Let's just make it red. Okay, so this is all you have when you try to long this, which isn't great. It's just three things I don't like about 10 a.m. today to look for more upside, right? You can see how we reject this gap right here, go lower, then chop around. I think boy was in shorts right here, which was a valid trade. Shorts made sense after this SMT right here. It was just pretty hard to find an entry, right? This one worked. Also, it doesn't really look too great in my opinion because you have a lot of wicks and a lot of chop right here. I'm not sure if we have something on the 5 minute too. Let's just see. Yeah, we do have this, which doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't give an entry. So yeah, 10 a.m. wasn't really it today. I didn't really like anything at 10 a.m. So yeah, we pretty much deliver. Do we deliver off of something? Yeah, this just doesn't look really. This just looks bad. You can't really enter right here, except on the 1 minute I showed, which I don't really like how it looks. You don't really have an entry right here. I mean, this maybe with this rejection block, you enter at the key open, but don't really like it. On the 3 minute right here, we do form a rejection block. Right, this would be a rejection block, and you can see how ES traded above 10 a.m. So you would take this trade based off ES, because NQ is the weaker asset in this case. It doesn't really reach up to 10 a.m. ES delivers and rejects, and NQ just follows. And you could TP like at the equal lows we wanted to see. I didn't really look at the 3 minute when it played out. So this is hindsight me talking right now. This is not something I spotted in real time. And yeah, after that, we pretty much just chopped around and didn't really do anything. So looking at the bigger picture, today was just a range day, which if you look at the 1 hour, it looks horrible. If you look at the 4 hour, it's even worse, right? I really do hope we rebalance some of this and then look for some structure to the upside, that we get some decent structure and we can actually take a good trade. Because today, for being CPI, it was pretty bad. So yeah, you see right here, ES swept all the equal lows and NQ didn't. So technically we do have an SMT again right here. I still hope NQ retraces into this gap or maybe this one to find support in the MWAG and then go higher. Not really sure yet what we want to do. I'm gonna wait for Asia and London to play out, and I'm gonna give some updates on what I expect tomorrow. But what I want to see is pretty much an open low during Asia and London, build structure, and then look for a move to the upside during either London low of day. So something like this would be the thing I want. Not sure if we rebalance the whole like 4 hour range right here, but you can see how nice it overlaps with this gap. So this would be something that looks pretty good to me if we can get down there. If not, then the S&P holds. I do think we hit those highs pretty early, but this is like the short-term draw for me, these two highs, so 217, 250, and then we'll see what price action and what structure we get tomorrow. But yeah, pretty uneventful day. Nothing really to do, nothing really to say about it. I've seen another couple questions about this rejection block right here, why it failed. The reason I would personally say for this is we already took like the short-term draw, which was the equal lows, and got a rejection back out of. So this just is one of the setups that fails. Although I do see why people wanted lower still for the 4-hour gap below. But yeah, that's about it. I don't really see an issue with like taking this. The only thing is you don't have any SMT. The only thing it rejects is like 1800, and you have a gap right here. We took the short-term draw. And yeah, let me just see right here. We do make equal highs on this one, on ES, and then sweep them right here, and we dump. So to me, the better setup in this case wouldn't really be to use this one. It would be to use this, because we do have an SMT. And I preferably take rejection blocks when we have an SMT. So this looks way better than this one. This is just, it is a rejection block, but it doesn't really have too many confluences speaking for it. This looks better in my opinion. Because in both assets, we do sweep liquidity right here, and then we form an SMT. And you could pretty much use this as your rejection block, right? Because this is the highest high on the candle, so I would use this one. And this is the wick of it, so just incorporate this one too. It becomes valid when this one closes bearish, and you can pretty much take CE right here, or wait for the SMT. In this case, this candle makes the SMT and enter at the next one, and then you just TP at the internal low again. But yeah, like I said, this was right after lunch played out, so not my trading time. This is also just something now in hindsight, but yeah, just to compare the two, see the difference why one works and the other one doesn't, and it's usually SMT, right? So try implementing SMT when you trade rejection blocks, and you're gonna have a way better win rate. It doesn't matter which time frame. Use the 1 minute, use the 5 minute, use the 15 minute, but you'll see how this increases your win rate. So yeah, I think that's it. Don't be too upset about today if you lost, because if you look at this 5 minute, it looks horrible. And tomorrow is going to be a new day, so we're going to try and find something there. Today was pretty uneventful, and CPI itself just slipped the shit out of us on the gamble. But yeah, it's just how it goes sometimes. So yeah, enjoy the rest of you guys' day. I hope this is everything that you wanted to hear, or at least it clears up the picture for you. And I'll see you guys in the next recap tomorrow. So bye-bye.